All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on a really fascinating, kind of lost chapter of pro football history. We're talking about a team that won the whole shebang and then pretty much just faded away into obscurity.
So let me ask you this. Who was the last team to win an NFL title and then just cease to exist? The answer is probably not who you think. This is a team that climbed to the very top and then, almost overnight, just vanished. It's a wild story full of quirky origins, unlikely glory, and a really sudden, dramatic collapse.
So, okay, where did this team even come from? Well, their origins are about as unique as it gets. See, they weren't born in the NFL. They were basically dreamed up by a few local journalists who just loved the game. Yep, founded way back in 1916 by some guys from the Providence Journal. The Steamroller was a regional independent powerhouse long before they ever thought about joining the National Football League. They really built up this reputation for being a tough, dominant local team. And that name, the Steamroller, where did that come from? Well, the story goes that one of the founders, a guy named Charles Cobbin, was grabbing a hot dog at a game when he overheard a fan say that exact phrase. He just loved it so much that the name stuck, and you know what? It perfectly captured their hard-hitting style.
And their home field was just as weird and wonderful as their name. They didn't play in some normal football stadium. Nope, they played at the Cyclodrome, which was a 10,000-seat bicycle racing track. I mean, can you imagine? This was just one of the many things that made this team completely unique in pro football history.
So how in the world does this quirky team playing in a bicycle stadium get to the absolute pinnacle of the sport? Well, their 1928 championship season was just a masterclass in how to dominate. After they joined the league in 25, they had a couple of so-so seasons, but then they really hit their stride. They were led by their incredible player coach Jimmy Conselman, and they were powered by a star halfback named Wildcat Wilson. I mean, with names like that, how could they not be great? They built a truly formidable squad.
Now, here's the really interesting part about how they won it all. Take a look. The Frankfurt Yellow Jackets actually had more wins. But see, back then, there was no Super Bowl, no championship game. The title was just decided by who had the best winning percentage. And Providence's incredible .889 mark, well, that secured them the crown.
And here it is, the proof. This pennant is what made it official. It awarded Providence the 1928 NFL title. And get this, it made them the first ever New England team to be crowned champions. That's decades before the Patriots would come to dominate the league. But hey, their championship wasn't their only claim to fame, not by a long shot. In their short time in the league, the Steamrollers were true pioneers. They established several league firsts that you can still feel the effects of today.
I mean, just look at this list of firsts. It's remarkable. They were the one and only NFL team to ever call a velodrome home. In 1929, they played this absolutely brutal schedule. 4 games in just 6 days. Unbelievable. And maybe most important of all, they hosted the very first NFL game ever played at night, under floodlights. That's right, they were the direct ancestor of Monday Night Football. But after reaching the very top of the football world, the team's fall from grace was just shockingly fast. All that championship glory, it was incredibly short-lived.
The team's collapse was just, wow, it was dramatic. Their championship roster basically disintegrated overnight. Their star lineman, Gus Sonnenberg, he quit football to become a world heavyweight wrestling champion. I mean, that tells you a lot about how little pro football paid back then, right? On top of that, their coach got a career-ending injury and their star halfback just kind of lost his passion for the game.
And as if all that talent drain wasn't enough, you had the national economic turmoil. The Great Depression hit hard, the team's fan base just evaporated, and the owners were forced to suspend operations after the 1931 season. Eventually, they had to turn the franchise back over to the league.
And this right here, this game program is for a matchup against another legendary franchise, the Green Bay Packers. It's a relic from the team's very last days in the league. It's like a snapshot of the exact moment right before they disappeared from the NFL for good.
So even though the original NFL team was gone, their totally memorable name didn't die. Oh no, it lived on in some pretty surprising places over the years.
The name was just too cool to let go of. It was resurrected for a professional basketball team in the 40s, another football team in the 60s,
and even an arena football league team in the late 80s. In a weird way, the name itself outlived the team that made it so famous.
So yeah, while the Providence Steam Roller doesn't exist anymore, they left a really unique and indelible mark on pro football history as champions, as innovators, and as the last defunct team to ever win an NFL title. You know, their story really proves that history is just filled with these incredible champions who have been lost to time. It makes you wonder, right? What other amazing stories like this one are just out there, waiting to be rediscovered?